Good evening, darlings, and welcome back. I hope you've all read The Adventures of Smokey and Yoda, my first ever children's book. It's about my own two cats, which are Yoda and Smokey. They are. I rescued them in February from Raisted, the cat's home. And obviously, The Life and Loves of Bexy Brown, which is a story about moi. And I hope you all read it, and if you haven't, then please buy one on Amazon and Kindle. Anyway, I'll just tell you a little bit of a story about our hilarious day. So obviously my pa has done a few videos for me this morning, which was so kind of him, wasn't it, really? But when one came out from the shower, I thought there was something missing on my hand, and I thought, wonder what the hell it was. Then I realised my platinum diamond ring was missing. There's all these girls on TikTok said, hey, babe, where the hell's my husband? Where the hell's another? Hoo-hoo. I tell you, where the hell's my platinum diamond ring? Well, I had the housekeeper looking. I had my husband Leonardo looking. I was having a crisis. I had to phone Howie. Now, if you don't know who Howie is, then please do, darlings, read the story. Because Howie is a chauffeur for my darling brother, Ronald. And obviously, he was for myself back in my 20s. And obviously, I haven't written that part of the book about my 20s yet, but that will be in probably series 3. And then she'll be putting that into a whole hardback book, but that will take a few years. But I was having a crisis. I nearly phoned the doctors. I needed to calm myself down. My husband, Leonardo, said, darling, I don't think you're in any fit state to go to London. I said, London? I am not going to London today. How could I possibly go to London with my platinum diamond ring laying on the floor somewhere and the housekeeper? She might end up hoovering it up. He said, darling, please sit down and have a cup of tea. I said, a cup of tea? He said, yes, darling. So he handed me a cup of chamomile tea. Did that calm me down? Well, and then Yoda, the Sphinx Rex cat. You know Yoda, if you don't know Yoda by now. This one, the one with no fur. Carrying it in his mouth like it caught a mouse. Yeah, and meowed at the bottom of the staircase. Now, bearing in mind I have 42 stairs. You know, it splits down the middle of the house. I said, darling Yoda, you're wonderful. Absolutely marvellous. So I carried him round for about a good hour. He was purring. And of course, I've treated him to some fresh lobster. What an absolute darling. So I've been laughing all afternoon to my friends on the telephone. Charming. But I probably won't write about that. But maybe I should, And then I had one haircut. It's still, my hair's always looked like a mop, I mean, I'm 53, and it just need a bit of a colour, because one's go grey here and there, But absolutely marvellous. I mean, I couldn't believe it. So my husband said, darling, let's go for champagne breakfast tomorrow. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to get up, we're going for champagne breakfast, out in the country in Kent. That'll be marvellous, won't it? And the housekeeper said, Darling, Rebecca, why is your wedding dress in the laundry basket in my spare room? Because my housekeeper, she does have her own spare room, If I'm in crisis, I say, darling, you can't leave until this is done, that's done, We have this understanding. Why is your wedding dress in the laundry basket? I said, well, mind your own bloody business. I said, well, actually, as you could tell, I run out of washing. I had no clothes to wear. So what was I supposed to wear the other day? As you could all know if you've been watching my reels, I had to wear my wedding dress, didn't I? She said, darling, Rebecca, it's about time at 53 you knew how to use the washing machine. So bless her, she did show me, but I'm not interested in all that. I'm far too important to write, of this book. I've got to write a second book of this. My agent said, darling, have you started writing the second book to this? I said, of course I haven't. Of course I haven't. It's not the end of 2025. I mean, I don't even know what day it is. I mean, I think it's Monday, isn't it? New Year's Eve is Wednesday. So I won't give my housekeeper's name because it's not fair. But I said, darling, when are you coming back? And she said, I'm back tomorrow morning at 6 o'clock in the morning. I said, thank goodness, what time are you finishing? She said, well, I'll be doing my normal 12 hours, of course. I said, hallelujah. But I said, please, will she stay New Year's Eve till 10? And she's happy with that, but she will be back at 10 in the morning New Year's Day. Marvellous. And she will make sure she does her 12 hours as well. So as a kind tip, I gave her a bag of cat munchies. You know, James well beloved. I gave her a whole bag because she has 2 cats as well. And but they're just, those common domesticated cats, nothing special. But having said that, there's nothing wrong with those because, I have had a common cat, In fact, I've written a book over Christmas called Ginger the Top Cat, which actually is available on Kindle. And it will be available in a few days on paperback. So please do buy a copy. It's called Ginger the Top Cat. And it was actually a sweet little pretty cat that I had as a child, that one has, And I'm sure I've got a photograph of him somewhere. I think I showed you, but I don't know where it's gone now with all the chaos that's happened today. There's the chaos. Oh, there he is. There it is. I've actually got a proper photograph. I mean, can you believe it? Can you believe it? I think I showed you the other day, but in case all your new viewers haven't seen it, I've actually got something called a photograph. It's not one of these things that happen on the telephone or the phone. You can just press a button. Look, a proper photograph. And there he is. Look. His name is called Ginger. And isn't it marvellous? Look. That's my home as a child in the 70s. I think it's my brother's foot. Marvellous, how marvellous. It's a proper photograph. Absolute proper photograph. So, yeah, I am going to be writing the second part of this book, which probably won't be out till at least the winter of 2026, because I need to write about Snoopy Brown, which was obviously a dog as a child of mine. So I will be releasing in the summer Snoopy Brown, a beautiful cross spaniel poodle, which now they call Cockapoo, but in our day he was just a normal dog. There wasn't any fancy names, And I will be writing a second book about Smokey and Yoda soon too. And I also have a book out called Tim and Mumbles, which is a little boy called Tim, who's 7, about a beautiful black and white collie dog, which actually is dedicated to my late mother, who's sadly passed. And she adored collies. She had a black and white collie a few times in her life. So that's why I wrote Tim and Bubbles, which is currently out on TikTok. But as for my dramas life, my life is full of dramas, darling. Full of dramas. I mean, wah. So, I am actually, Sexy Bexy, what was she right up? And if anyone don't know about it now, but of course I'm acting. Obviously I'm acting. Of course I'm acting. Of course I'm bloody acting, And, I mean, I am actually 53. I am a drama queen, of course. Of course I'm a show-off as well. And who doesn't like a designer handbag? Now, you women out there, of course, you'd be lying if you said you didn't like. But I'll tell you something now. Whilst in New York, a few weeks ago, the shop, for Louis Vuitton, they didn't allow me in the store. I said, how very dare you do not know who you're dealing with. So with that, when I got home, I decided to empty my whole entire closet of all those handbags and take them to the nearest charity shop. I shall never be buying a Louis Vuitton handbag ever again. And my daughter said, Mother, darling. I said, no, I shall not have such thing item in my house ever again. No. So you'll never see me in one of those shops again. No. And that's for Macy's. Absolutely love Macy's. Very close to my heart, Macy's. Yeah. If you've read the book, then you'll know that I'm trying to get the face cream out there. And who knows what's going to happen? It's absolutely marvellous. It really is marvellous. Anyway, ciao for now, darlings. And all those wonderful people out there have the flu. God bless you. I have actually got a book out there called Christmas in Bed that I wrote a little while ago, but decided to release it because I ended up with the flu. So I finished it off. It's got marvellous tips for you when you've got the flu in it. Hopefully it might cheer you up because it's got mainly a few jokes. And yes, I have written all my own work myself. I'm bloody clever, actually, aren't I? But obviously I've had a little bit of help with the front covers. With AI. So bloody what, Who's to judge? And bloody hard cheese if you don't bloody like that either. But God bless you all. And catch up another day soon. Ciao for now, darlings. Ciao for now.
She said, it's just a little too late, a little too wrong, and I can't wait.